What's up, guys? ICEMAN here. Welcome to Meditations. Appreciate you guys coming by. Like this video if you will. Subscribe to the page and swat that bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my patrons. Links in the description below. Become a patron if you want to support the meditations, and may your contributions be brought back to you sevenfold. Condolences of the Creator. So my last video, I talked about how the most important decision you can make in life, at least one of them, is the partner that you choose to be with. The women, all right? The wife. And this applies to whether or not you're just dating them or whatever, because that can lead to other things. And plus, that's the time that you invest, the day. You're putting your day into that person, or you're revolving your day around that person, you know what I mean? So, to an extent, it's regardless of whether or not you're married to this chick or not. Check that video out if you haven't yet. But what I wanted to help you guys with in this video is how to find a good woman. All right. Now, I know it's a very popular topic these days, perhaps reasonably so, how that sort of task is becoming more and more impossible, right? I mean, look what they're doing. Just all the media, entertainment, news, all that convoluted garbage from the big global conglomerates, singular entities, 6 to be exact, who control all of that shit. You know what I mean? So we're talking about the really, really, really rich folk giving the young people whatever it is that they're thinking, you know? Like they're saying, oh, women should be independent. Women shouldn't want a man. Women should go out and seek a career and put that over anything else. Women shouldn't want to be women. You know, just all this dissenting bullshit. It's like telling a man he shouldn't be a man. You know, it's telling a man, yeah, do things that counteract your testosterone productivity and you will be more happy because your masculinity is slavery. You know, it's like the same fucking thing. I mean, I could go on about that in more detail in future videos, but that's not what this video is about. So yeah, it's a bit difficult to navigate these days, right? A buddy and I joke a little bit. Guy who's recently single now, his women left him, and he has 3 kids with her, one of which is adopted. And the woman still decides to take off, right? I could have seen that thing coming a mile away, but that's what happened. Whether or not he deserved it, you know, all that, it's all up for debate, right? But I mean, that's what happened. And I mean, he wanted to stay with her. And there wasn't infidelity involved. On his end, anyway, to my understanding. But I mean, yeah, I don't need to go into his business. But, wait, why did I say that again? What was that? Where was I going with that? Yeah, just left him, this, that, and the third. He's out in the market now. Oh, yeah, here's why I brought it up. Because we kind of joke about how, where do good women at? And I'm like, well, man, why don't you just go to like some Amish community or some shit? And he's like, yeah, I like that. But he's like a really square guy, all right? So it's pretty fitting for him, really. Fundamentally religious and all that, you know what I mean? So it would be quite fitting. But I mean, they probably source whoever comes into those communities. Like you got them like, who the hell is this guy trying to come in here? He came from the outside world. You know, we don't want him trying to court any of our daughters, you know, things like that. So, I mean, it's probably not a very reasonable thing. I mean, hell, it doesn't seem like that bad of an idea, but not everybody can do that, you know? So say you're in the world as we know it. You find yourself in this current iteration of things. You find yourself in 2024, single as a freaking toad. What do you do? How do you find the good women? Right? Now, I've been with a bit of a variety. I've been with some decent women, some not so decent women, this and that, all right? Women who are a little older, women who are a little younger, this and that. And I've accumulated some knowledge, some research, some wisdom for the research institution here at ICEMAN Meditations. Become a patron if you want to support the meditations, by the way. Because no sponsors here, no kiss in the ass of global corporations, no advertising cheap-ass fucking made in Red Dragon country products. They're going to break in one fucking year. You know what I'm saying? No endorsing of shit that I don't actually believe in. I'm really not trying to dissent dog shit. I'm just saying that's the only way. There's none of that going on here. But how do you find the good women? So it's unfucking believable to me how guys think that the way to get women is by going to the bars and clubs or something where all the fucking hoe bags are. Why the fuck would you do that? I would look anywhere that is in the bounds of legality versus going to the fucking club or bar. All right. I mean, those bitches are drinking, they're sipping, they're always looking out. They always have their guard up at the same time. I mean, why would you do that? The sort of broads who socialize and mingle around men all the time and who go there to gather around a bunch of men who are consumed with alcohol. You know what I mean? Like, what a recipe for a really, really, really bad setup for your future. You know, don't go to the fucking bars. I think that men who do that actually are pussies, no pun intended, because they're the kind who can't muster up the courage to approach a lady unless if she's expecting it, which is the bar environment, and unless if he is partly stimulated by alcohol. You see what I'm saying? So you got to get past that. You got to muster up the bravery, the courage. You got to fight that fear without utilizing the alcohol as a tool, because that's just, it's not good in many ways, right? Of course, I mean, it's killing everything about you, the alcohol. It's intoxicating your body. It's destroying your balls, destroying your ability to get hard as a rock. You know, it's drying out your skin, killing your liver. I mean, it's doing all sorts of things. So stay away from the alcohol. I have like 1 or 2 drinks a year, and I might start having less. So that's just, it's not a good idea. So where? And here's another thing. I would caution hanging out with women that you're not physically attracted to. I think that guys, they find comfort in that. And I've done this back when I was like 17, 18, 19 years old. I hung out with a couple girls who I wasn't attracted to. Part of me thought, if I'm hanging out with women, it'll make me more desirable, which to an extent is true. So it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. And I think I did meet 1 or 2 attractive women from hanging out with these fat chicks. I don't know how else to say it. I certainly never involved myself with them, but I just, I would have friends like that, with sort of it in the back of my mind that, oh yeah, they probably have friends that I could be introduced to and this and that. But the reason that could be dangerous is, and I avoided this danger, But the reason it could be dangerous is a guy could become complacent and comfortable, and he'll actually end up with that fat chick. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just warning you guys, that's the danger in that. Be careful who you become friends with the women, because in some instances you might end up being with them and it's just going to be some chick that you never really found desirable until you just realized you couldn't get anything else and you decided to concede to her. You know what I mean? So, and then you could end up unhappy and addicted to prawn and all that later on when you're not satisfied with your lady. So that's why that could be a dangerous thing. So I caution you from doing that. That's another danger of the whole friend zone thing as well. I never had a problem with friend zoning or getting friend zoned, because I think guys get into that because they're afraid to cut to the chase. They're always dancing around the bush, physically and metaphysically speaking, right? Literally and non-literally, or metaphorically, or whatever. They're dancing around the bush. And they never really muster up the courage to let her know what he wants. And she kind of subconsciously knows what he wants, you know, because women, of course, they like this. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want to be surrounded by men who are catering to them, who are nice to them, who at the same time the women knows that the men find them desirable? You know, it's like you're kind of feeding their ego a little bit. So you're fanning it. You're fanning them. Like there's some goddess or something. So, of course, they're going to tolerate it in many situations. In some situations, they don't. But in many situations, they do tolerate it. So you're just wasting a lot of your time. And the longer you dwell in that, the less attractive she finds you, because she knows you're a pussy. And women, despite what these powers that be tell us, the women don't like that. You know, they don't want a guy who's a pussy. They, in fact, want a guy who's masculine, who's courageous, who's brave, who's confident, who's sure of himself, who knows what he wants. That's what they're attracted to. Why the fuck wouldn't they be? You know, if you were one, wouldn't you? You know, you'd be like, okay, I'm a woman. To an extent, I'm a different vessel than the man when it comes to the physicality, the prowess, and I have to suffer from more shit. Like, I can get pregnant and it's a long burden when I do, and I have this monthly struggle with my hormones that I've been endowed with by nature. And the man is kind of something a little different, where he doesn't suffer from those things, and his physicality on average is it's more fierce and all that. So of course you're going to want that. You know, if you have to have a fucking partner, you're going to want somebody. You're going to want a guy who's capable, who's willing, who's strong, who's powerful, who's brave, who's courageous, who's quick to think, who's intelligent, who's not full of fear and all that shit. You know, you want a strong guy. So that's what they want. So where's it going with that again? I was going to make a point with that, but I can't quite remember. But nonetheless, yeah, that's the danger in being a friend zone with women. I was never in that because I always made sure to let them know where I stand right away. I didn't give a fuck. You know, it was like the first day of knowing that, okay, you want to go out for coffee? You want to, you know, it would be implicative. Is that the word for it? It implies. You say, okay, you want to go for coffee? All right, let's go. No? Okay. Well, good to meet you. Have a good day. Boom. Done. You know, don't waste your time being their fucking friends. That's not what that you're not going to get what you think you might if you waste your time being their friends. What you're going to get is you're going to get friend zone. And you're going to be a friend, and you're going to watch her get with other men who are more alpha than you. So yeah, it's a really bad recipe for disaster. But I'm being a little quiet now. It looks like one of my wives just got home. She went grocery shopping. I'm being a little bit more quiet. But upstairs I can hear my little dog is right here. So, but yeah, the point of the video. Okay, where do you find the good women? All right, here we go. And this wife up there, in fact, the way that I met her, and she's a very, very, very nice woman. She's has all the good qualities. And I met her at a grocery store. All right. I went to grocery stores because I started thinking, I was like, okay, Iceman, where are the good women going? I was like, well, let's start ruling some shit out. They're not going to clubs. Doggy, get over here. No. Doggy wants to get out now. They're not going to clubs. That's where all the hoes are. They're not going to bars. That's where all the hoes are. Where do they go? Well, probably the library or some shit, right? They read like Bella or whatever from Beauty and the Beast or something, you know? They read. They read instead of going to the clubs and being hoes. Hey, relax. Little doggy wants out. I'm going to let her out just a minute. You guys bear with me for just a moment, will you? Bear with me for just a moment. All right. Yeah. Here we are. So I started ruling that stuff out. It's like, where can you go to find the good women? It's like, okay, the library, that's an option. Wait, what about those like crafting stores and shit? You know, like the women who like to craft, they like to knit and make things out of materials, you know? There we go. This will help. What it does is, of course, there's going to be whole bags there too, but at least you're not finding them at the bar. You know, you're ruling out some of those inevitable probabilities, which if you go to the bar, you're going to get a hole. If you go to the freaking fabric store, you might not. If you go to the library, you might not. If you go to the grocery store, because I started thinking I was like, okay, there's some women who don't go out to the club and don't go out with the broads all the time. That's the kind of woman that I want. Where could I find them, though, if they're not going out? I was like, well, everybody has to eat, so maybe I'll find them at the fucking grocery store. So you start going to the grocery store. And that's a great way to get one that you like by going about it with this approach, because then you know if you'd be willing to pursue with that one or not. You're not doing the whole, I met them through somebody else and I slowly started liking them, even though, you know, it's somebody who's not really ideal. At least then you get a quick, you know, it's a good screening process. So basically, I saw a lady I thought was attractive. You know, I was like, oh, she looks attractive. She looks like a smart chick, this and that. So I approached her, asked her this and that, asked her for a number. And that's how I ended up with this wife. And it's been a great time. And and sure enough, during the time I was spending with her, I realized, wow, she's very smart. She's very wise. She's the wisest chick that I know. Probably one of the wisest people that I know, if not the. And she likes to read. She likes the nice things, you know, like crafting and all that. She likes animals. She's simplistic. She's not super materialistic. You know, she doesn't want all the new shit. You know what I mean? So you can start to, started to get an idea of that during the first couple dates, you know, and you're talking, you're getting to know each other, this and that. So, but I think this is a starter kit video on how to find the good women, or how to find a good woman. I think I left you guys with some good stuff, but let me know in the comments. I mean, what are your thoughts? How do you get the good women? Let me know in the comments. And what do you guys think about Ice Boy's approach? Are there any modifications you would make to it? Are there any criticisms? I mean, if so, speak it in the comments below. But I mean, yeah, I think it's a pretty good blueprint for starters, but more videos like this coming up. And I will see you guys next video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace be with you.